So guys, I've been on this spiritual path for 11 years and I'm getting to the point now, from time to time when I make these type of videos, I think to myself, what am I doing? Sitting around talking, all this talking. I could be doing something else, because all this stuff I talk about, I don't have to think about much anymore. I just talk about it because I enjoy it, because I'm in a state of inner peace, surrender, acceptance. Whether my life goes better or worse, I'm solid. I'm fine. Yeah, and good for me. But what about you guys? That's what I need to remind myself of. Again, I say to myself, what's all this talking for? What a waste of time sitting around talking. But then I get a rude shock, a rude reminder when I see stuff on the news, on TV, or what I read. And here's some statistics on men's mental health in Australia. First of all, the leading cause of death of men aged 44 and under is choosing to end the show early, if you know what I'm saying. Life is a show, a movie, they choose to end it early. Age 44 and under, leading cause. Another statistic, 1 in 7 men experience depression. 1 in 5 men have experienced severe anxiety. And here's some other stats. Every day in Australia, 7 men end the show early. 7 men. And I personally know 3 of them over my life. I won't get into details, but I know 3 personally in my life. They were part of this 7 every day. Men are 3 times more likely to die by ending the show early than women. 75% of all people ending the show early are men. I'm avoiding certain triggering words if you kind of get what I'm doing there. This is terrible. And again, me in my 11 years of spiritual practice, philosophy, I'm sorted. And I sometimes forget so many men out there are struggling, and women too. But men, it's worse in a sense, because we're not told to talk about this stuff. I meet men to this day in social situations or at work, and when you don't know them, many of them put on a front. Like they meet you and they're trying to appear tough or intimidating, or how they talk. And I've noticed, because I attempt to give off a calm, non-reactive, loving vibe, I don't tell people I'm calm, non-reactive and loving. I'm into spirituality, philosophy. I never mention this stuff in day-to-day life. I leave it all for YouTube. In my day-to-day life, I just try to live these teachings. Give off a calm, welcoming, non-judgmental vibe. Most men I've come into contact with at work or in public or in social situations present a front, but then slowly see I'm not trying to do it back to them. They slowly soften. They slowly realize I don't have to put on an act with this guy. People have told me this. You have a calming vibe. And that's the whole point. But what I'm saying is, men have this thing, they feel they have to put on this act. So do women, of course. But a lot of men feel lost, especially young men. They've got no identity anymore. And there's so many reasons for that too. But that would be more, what do they call it? Red pill content. Men's dating, men's life, that kind of stuff. I'm not going to delve into, but there's so many reasons for men feeling as they do. And that's why so many men are lost. So many men feel empty. And here's another article I found. I'll put it up there, which is about Gen Z men. Men aged 28 and younger. For the first time since records began of all this stuff in 30 years, more men are identifying as Christian as opposed to women. Let me read it. More Gen Z men are identifying as Christian than their female peers for the first time since research began nearly 30 years ago, according to the Australian data shared with Triple Hijack. The Australian Community Survey operated by NCLS Research found that 39% of men in Gen Z, aged 28 and under, identified as Christian, compared to 28% of women of the same group. More younger men are going back to Christianity in the West. And this is very good. It's a very good thing because men need structure. Men need discipline, structure, a community. And this world in Western culture isn't providing it. And here's a story of one of these men, young men. 21-year-old engineering student Evan Forrest didn't grow up in a religious household, but had a spiritual awakening when he visited India earlier this year. Going to places like the Golden Temple, the Taj Mahal, really opened my eyes on the power of religion. And it started to make me think, okay, if this is going on here, what's going on back in Perth? Evan told Triple J Hack. At the time, Evan felt like he was doing all the right things to make himself happy. I've got a girlfriend, I've got the car, I've got the mates on the weekend, I've got money in the account, no stress. My brothers love me, everything was perfect, he said. Perfect life, materialistically. Car, job, girlfriend, friends, money, brothers that loved him. But for some reason, I just felt so empty. After all that, he still feels empty. The article goes on where he said he left all his ideas about Christianity on the sidelines and thought, let's go into Christianity with a fresh look. And he hasn't been happier. And this is very encouraging. I personally grew up a Christian, didn't resonate with it, got into the teachings of spirituality, Buddhism, then Advaita Vedanta. But this is what's missing, guys. Look, here's what Sri Ramakrishna said in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Beautifully summed up. Everything we gain in this world are like accumulating zeros. I've got the car, 0. Job, 0. Girlfriend, friend, 0, 0, 0. It's all meaningless. You're going to feel empty unless you put a 1 in front of it. And what is that 1? God, spirituality. Whatever you want to do. You can be a Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu. You need a faith underpinning all these material pursuits. That's the 1. Put a 1 in front of all these zeros and it goes to 10, 100, 1,000, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. See? And that is what's missing, guys. You feel lost and empty. You feel like you need to put on all this act and show because you have no backing, no foundation in religion, in spirituality. And like I said at the beginning of this video, sometimes I think, why am I talking about this? For me, sometimes it sounds useless, sitting around talking philosophy. What's all this talking? But again, I remind myself of these kind of stats. Because sometimes I'm in a bubble of inner peace, I'll call it, where I forget men out there are suffering until I'm reminded of these facts. And I know personally I could not go back to that state of mind because of everything I talk about in these videos with you guys. And you guys that are in suffering, that are negative, I'm going to make more videos for you guys. I'm targeting the negative content because I see everything as ultimately light. There is only light here, appearing as darkness. And you guys that are negative, you have no motivation, no willpower. Again, I'm going to make more videos, and I just want to tell you one thing right now. It's okay. Do all your wallowing, grieving, feeling like you can't go on, and to be honest, you know what? Don't feel guilty. Because I know you're going to come out of this. I know the routine. I've been through all this in my early 20s. You know what makes it worse? You're feeling like that, and then you're feeling guilty for feeling like that. It's all right. Feel what you need to feel. That's the problem. To be human is to fluctuate between negativity and positivity. But when we feel negative, we feel like we can't show it to the world. We feel like we can't talk about it. We feel like we need to go, everything's good, mate. It's all good. No problem. Everything's sorted. That's why it's tiring. It's fake. When we're positive and happy, it's easy to talk about. When we're negative, it's not easy to talk about. And many men in their real life can't find that connection. So they turn to YouTube. They turn to videos like myself and others. But again, I'm trying to counterbalance the negative content where a lot of channels talk about negativity, and rightly so. So many men are hurting. So many men are disappointed. Disillusioned. What is our role? What is our purpose? But if you get too caught up in the problem and don't focus on the solution, it can lead you to becoming another statistic of these men under 44, And I honestly don't want that for you. You in this state of misery and depression, you're on the brink of waking up. And I'm not saying that to feel good. You need this life to crush you to really start waking up. But you're on a tightrope. And I don't want you to tip off the wrong edge of the tightrope. Then you become a statistic. I want you to flip onto the other side, inner peace, awakening, which I know is happening for you. This is a blessing in disguise. I also know men that have a very comfortable life and they don't care about all this mental health. Because why? Their life is cruisy. Why would they have to? But they're in a false sense of security. Whether your life is going good or bad, you need an insurance policy for your mental health. Because life has a way of really messing with you. Sooner or later, when your life is going well, you might think, I don't need spirituality, I don't need a God. Why? I've got everything I need. Your foundation is built on quicksand. While things are going well, learn to meditate, learn to be humble, devote to a God, because things are going to get rough sooner or later, and you're not going to have a leg to stand on. That's why when my life is going well, so much more prayer, devotion, humility, surrender. Because on the odd occasion when my life goes crap, I don't really sink into deep depression anymore. In my 20s I did, but now it's just little speed humps, which I can easily snuff out with all these practices. But I would never be able to do that if I didn't really bolster my spiritual practice when things are going well. It's like that saying, make hay when the sun shines. When life is going well, go after your girlfriend, your cars, money, but also go after God. Put that one in front of all those zeros, and when times get tough, as they're going to, I'm sorry, but they're going to. If you've got a cruisy life, it's all going to end eventually. That's the whole game of this life. To crush you, to bring you back to God. This is a game back to God, or your true self. So, you're going to get crushed. If you're not already, and if you are, seriously, there's hope. Keep watching positive content. That's what I'm here for. That's what I need to remind myself. Many times I just think, what am I doing? I just want to give up doing this. Because I'm thinking, for me it's meaningless, but not in a negative way. I don't need all this. But I need to remind myself, you guys need it. So that's why I'm here for you. I'm not here to put on an act and a front. I'm here to give genuine advice. And some of it might hurt your ego, but I only do it out of a sense of love. Think of me as a brother or an older brother or an uncle, whatever you want to call me. If you're my age or younger, so all I want to say is, guys, I know what you're going through. Many other men are going through what you're going through, and bit of a cliche, don't give up, because there is a solution. All this emptiness there's a God-shaped hole in your heart. I think Blaise Pascal said that. Don't hold me to that. I think it was Blaise Pascal. There's a God-shaped hole in your heart that is going to be filled by a God. And it's so encouraging to see these younger men going towards religion. 38% of Gen Zers identify as Christian in Australia, as opposed to 28% of women. Now, having said that, apparently 60% of women identify as spiritual, not religious. So spirituality is where it's at. We are always devoting to something. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, however my devotees approach me, I approach them in the same way. You're always worshipping a god. What's the natural god we most worship in the West? Materialism, money, power. That's our god. And if you sincerely worship it, you can go places materialistically. But unfortunately, if you really want to worship those things, you're going to have to cross the lines of morality sooner or later to really get to the top. That's why a lot of this world is run by psychopaths. I'm sorry. You can get success as a good person, but at a certain level, look at all these people at the top and all the scandals they're involved in, especially celebrities. You need to trade your soul to get to ahead in this world. That's just how it is. And plus, it's an empty existence anyway. That's my opinion. If money truly brought happiness, every rich person would be happy, and every poor person would be miserable. But I know many rich people that aren't happy. I know many poor people that are simple, just have God in their life, a strong faith, very happy. So happiness isn't dependent on money. Of course, if you're struggling to pay the bills, you need some money for security. But after you're kind of secure, the more and more money doesn't equal more and more happiness. And as always, I don't need to prove this to you. You're either going to think that or you're not. But again, to end this video, if you're a man of any age, but particularly under the age of 44, look, seriously, I know what you're going through. And I'm here to help, honestly. That's why I love answering your questions. That's why I need to remind myself, this isn't for nothing. Sometimes I feel it's for nothing, but I need to remember it is for something. There's real people at the end of this camera going through a lot. So if I can help in any way I can, I'm so grateful. I view it as God's work to help you guys. I give God all the credit, not myself. So I just thought I'd say that, okay? Until the next one, take care, eh? See ya.